All right, guys. So it's another session with the Elevator One of Sports, and I mean, if you're heading into this show today, I'm sure you would be expecting a whole lot for us to talk about, because I mean, quite a lot has happened in the last couple of days that has sparked so many reactions from football organizations.
So people get orgasm from insulting me now.
You know, I mean, you've already given us.
People with their Agbola office stand, they need to insult me to get erection.
You've already given us a preamble from the shots you've put out already on the channel, but let's delve into it deeper. I mean, it was emotional from Taribo West.
Wear condom.
In the last
sorry, they delve deeper. So
in the last couple of days, I mean, he was at. We're here where you spoke so highly of Peter Rufai. You know, when he passed on.
Great guy.
You know, great guy, like you said. And now his funeral happened recently around Festac, not too far from where I am. But so many Super Eagles ex-internationals, they were there, they were present, including Taribo West, who was interviewed. Shout out to News Central, all credits for that interview, where Taribo West was so emotional, talking about the plight of Peter Rufai's family, how they are struggling for funding, even in WhatsApp groups, trying to raise funds to support. Then he went on to blast the federation that they don't support the players ex-international who are heroes. He gave so many examples, cited so many examples of players who's done it in the past, how they've not been recognized by the federation and all of that. He went as far as saying he would advise his son not to put his feet for this country again. This is Taribo West, who gave his all for the Super Eagles. We all know, a legend in his own right. He was a fantastic defender on his day. But I mean, that interview, that short clip, I mean, he even said he doesn't want to implode. That means he was really angrier than what we saw. He was really emotional than what we saw, because he doesn't want to implode, according to him. Now, so many diverse reactions from that interview. Now, let me put it to you now. What are your thoughts, from what Taribo West said in that short session? Do you think our players are not supported enough by the federation, if you look at what they've given to the country in the past? Or do you think it's a sort of entitlement from these players? I know you have your reservations about some set of Super Eagles players, but let's streamline it to this now. What do you think of Taribo West and that interview he made?
Can I pray? I need to beg God to help me today, because this might be the day where I lose it all. Let's be very honest. Expecting utopia in a dystopia world is foolishness. If you go and fall in love with a prostitute, and then you start getting angry that she's sleeping with other men, I think you're the idiot, because that's what she was doing before you fell in love. You know that way they just say something where they go around, they reach your turn, you won't hold them. You understand? That's the feeling I get when I hear ex-international, after the death of any of their colleagues, they start saying this. As an insider, as someone who's deep into all of these people, there is none of these guys who will say, me and they never sit down and break bread, me and they never sit down and laugh and joke. And then sometimes it feels like, oh, we sit with you, and then what we say to you, you bring it in the public.
Bring it out.
I get pissed when I see them act like this. You know why? They don't like each other. And this is not me joking. They don't like each other. They hate each other. They want to see each other fail. When you give one appointment, the others are working for that one to fail. And when he failed, they celebrate it. So why is it that when somebody now dies, it's like when the former president passed and everybody is eulogizing him. It's like, this guy is responsible for the suffering you're suffering. Why are you people? And then people were insulting me. But it's the truth. You guys don't like each other. Just don't pretend about it. When one now dies, you now come like you have love. That's one part of the story. Secondly, we don't have, before you play for Nigeria and you play for maybe 5 years, 10 years, you play 100 cabs at most, we don't have a pension system for football. That's why the payment is big. Where in this country, in the 220 or 200 million people that we have, which company or which ministry do you work a day's work and they pay you $10,000? In whatever time of the exchange rate, which work would you do? Or which work do you do in Nigeria today that your daily allowance is $100 or $500, depending on the different eras? Which work do you do in Nigeria that, apart from the lies of Big Brother, that you finish, will give you properties and give you cars? Which other work do you do? There's none, right? So, and people will misconstrue this example and I'm making the crux of the conversation. But what I'm basically saying that every average Nigerian does not get what these guys get. In life, the biggest prayer anybody pray for, whether they pray for it directly or they live through it, is to have 3 things or 4. Those 4 things are: 1, at the very top of it is power, because power is something you can wield anyhow and benefit from it. 2nd is money, then fame, right? And then the 4th one is goodwill. You can be famous and not have goodwill. There are famous people that people don't like. Donald Trump is famous, all right? There are a lot of famous people that people don't like. They don't have goodwill. You can have money and also not be loved. So those 4 things are what you ask for. These players, in the course of their life, in the course of living the life that they live from, playing football, they earn goodwill from Nigerians. And the goodwill from Nigerians stays after they retire. I have never heard any time these players rant that the club that some of these players played for did not recognize, did not show up when they die. But if you do mathematics very well, how is it that a country that you play 60, 40, 50, at best 100 games for needs to be beaten, battered, and destroyed? But the clubs that you play 300, 400 games for, nobody called them when you die. Who did you make more sacrifice for? The ones you play 5 games in a year for, or the ones you play over 30 games in a year for? Which one took a stronger toll on your body? This is me not being objective. I got injured playing football and I stopped. So it's not like I do not understand what football does to you. And like Mikolo will say, it's 1 in 200 that makes it professionally. So when you make it, you are of all men most privileged. And then you not get the chance to play for top clubs. You not get the chance to play for your national team, go to Nations Cup and win it, go to the Olympics, if possible, win it, or, play at that level. Now, what you do with money, fame, goodwill, and power is leverage. Leverage is that thing that sustains you even when you stop working. I'm sure you've heard before somebody went to somewhere and they mentioned his father's name or his mother's name, his or her mother's name, and then they opened door for them and said, "Oh, you are the son of so-so person, you're the daughter of so-so person." They opened door for them. That's leverage. And to have fame, like the players, Taribo West and his colleague had, to have goodwill like they had, to have money, and they had a lot of it. In whatever currency, whatever exchange rate, they had a lot of it. And to also have power. And by power, I mean they have access. They have access to governors. They have access to presidents and reach the high and mighties of society. To have all of that and you still do not use it well, you're not waiting that the little resources that is meant to take care of those who never had power, access, leverage, anything, to take care of them, you're still saying they should come and spend it on you, they should come and do this and do that. I think that it is the most selfish, most irresponsible, most entitled way of life that is. People will not like this. But let's break it down. Every industry in Nigeria today have their hope on their celebrities, their top men, to walk into major rooms and speak for their industry. And I keep saying this, and people look at me like, what are you saying? If Nigerian League, Nigerian League is a multi-billion-dollar industry today, the Taribo West, the coaches, the Kanu, the rest of them are going to be the first harvesters. Edafe that is talking I will be the least in the harvest. You, Emmanuel, Timothy, all of us in the media side will be the lowest, right? But I have seen, especially the class of 94, nobody badmouth the Nigerian League like the class of 94. Nobody. But somehow, the class of 94 have benefited more from the Nigerian league. As bad as it is, Amokachi have played in it. Amokachi have worked as coach in the league. Finidi George. Okocha was Delta FA chairman. Edema Fuludu's been a club assistant chairman. And, all these are class of 94 that I'm mentioning. Taribo Jigwe was in the Abia State, whether the FA chairman or commissioner also. You can see the goodwill that these people have benefited. Sondo Lise, my guy, has coached the Super Eagles of Nigeria, even though that didn't go well, no fault of his. And you can see more and more. What's it called? The team, Super Eagles team coordinator, what's his name now? The guy that went to the Olympics, even though he didn't play, but he was part of the Olympic team, MON. But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And you can see Pascal Patrick. All these are people that have benefited from the sporting ecosystem. But in Kenya, it's on record, Coach was talking that in the Nigerian league. I've heard quite a lot of them talking down the Nigerian league. This is the ecosystem, because if you want to pin their umbrella, you will pin it under the umbrella of sports. I have seen them play novelty match for top-rated politicians, just to mention a few. The current president of Nigeria, Senator Ahmed Bola Tinubu. I've seen them play novelty match for Yaya Bello, the former governor of Kogi State, and I've seen them, in a lot of novelty match. And I always ask, because I move in the convoy of comedians a lot, Ali Baba and the rest of them, and I see when they go to meetings or when they meet with politicians, they're always speaking for their industries. That's why you would see that whether it's Funny Bone, whether it's Ali Baba, whether it's Bovy, you see politicians come to their show. There is a reason why that connection is there. When we footballers, think about it, there was an award that you were part of, the Ballers Award. Yeah. Were we able to drag one politician to that award? Even the footballers that you give the award, you beg them to turn up. Sometimes they don't want to turn up. That's their constituency. But you will see them go by like 6 tables, sit down in comedy show. But when the comedians are going to the government to go negotiate their piece of the national cake, they don't negotiate for football. They negotiate for the creative industry for them. And that's where you will see them. They will slice football out of it. Sport is no longer entertainment. Football is not entertainment. It's not sports. So when you look at all of this and you say, our Egmo, our elders, our front runners who are supposed to be speaking for the industry are not even articulating anything for us, are not speaking to the guys in National Assembly, the senators and the rest of them. Now they are angry that the industry is not taking care of them. They are angry that the government is not taking care of them. There is no place where it is written that when footballers retire, it is the responsibility of the FA that is very broke, that we all know doesn't have money, to cater for them. When they fall sick, Taribo was talking about the families of Peter Rufai, in WhatsApp group begging for money. So let me also tell you, just within the space of this burial, Lagos State government, Mr. Yomi Idowu again, the same Yomi Idowu that paid for that flight that Mikel Obi rejected, that lost his money, over almost $300,000. The chairman of stationery stores, I don't know why I keep forgetting his name. But the son of Adebanjo, and the supporters club of stationery stores and a lot of other people contributed almost 25 million naira, over 20 million, almost 25 million for the family. That's the family you're saying that nobody supported. The NFF sent delegates. Lagos State government sent delegates. The federal government, they did their bit. Now you're complaining. That complaint is based off on what? That this is the responsibility of the government, they didn't do it, or the family that was begging money. Why were they begging money? Now, let's do the economics of wealth. When you make money, you invest it. That investment in turn pays you back. Isn't that what money is all about? Yeah. Now, I hear people always say that, if it's abroad, it's not like that. Paul Gascoigne went through hell with his alcohol problem.
Say, these other countries, they treat their players
backing it up with facts. Paul Gascoigne went through hell. I didn't see the English FA ever come up in any way to support him. It is his business. It is him and his friends and his family that owe themselves that. And we've seen a lot of people go through that in Europe. Nobody turned up for them. Nobody. Mario Götze was the guy who scored the winning goal in the World Cup finals against Argentina.
Yeah.
He's gone down with terrible, different type of injury. I've not seen the FA get involved one way or the other. The German FA, that's the guy who scored the goal that won them the World Cup in 2014. After Germany had not won it in 24 years. The last time they won it was 1990. That didn't make the FA to say, okay, now we'll take care of you, we'll take your responsibility. Now, in countries where you hear that, oh, because Agbola still collect money, John Fashion still collect money. Now, let's talk about John Fashion a little bit. I interviewed John Fashion. If you followed, 3 years ago, we started this rave of podcasting at least special delivery. One of our guests was John Fashion, and after we did the interview, he invited us to his property, his place at Sun City. And I thought it was just maybe one building, which was acres of land, right? And there was gym there was, markets, a lot of facility in the place. And I was taken aback. I was like, this guy didn't play for Nigeria. This guy didn't benefit. This guy didn't give us anything. Why is he coming here to buy and invest? He said he didn't buy. It's the former President Olusegun Obasanjo that gave him. And, in a private conversation, I was like, how is it that you're able to get this? And people like the Amokachis of this world, the coaches and the rest, and even the Taribo didn't have this type of thing. And he said, this is what he said that I would never forget. He said, when you get into the room, what you speak, what you demand is very, very important. He said he can't speak why they don't have what I am asking. But when he came in and he had the chance, he made a request. And God have it, he was granted that request. So that's him going into the room, speaking, and he got all that in Abuja. The guys who used to have access, we've seen Amokasi talk about how you have unfettered access to Abacha, and the Babayaros and a whole lot of others. What did they bring out of it? What did they speak for the industry? Even Bible would say that the blood of Jesus speaks better thing than the blood of Abel. These things are precursor for how you speak. They say sometimes what makes an industry work well is the people who speak on your behalf when you're not there in rooms. Right? Pray to God that you have the right people in rooms that are speaking for you to make things easy. So that they didn't do. So one, that is on them when they have power. When Okocha was the FA chairman in Delta State, the worst era, that's the state I am from, it's the worst era ever in the history of Delta State football. Since that era, Delta State have not recovered from it till now. They're still suffering from the neglect, the lack of activities and all that. And the chairman was not reachable for 4 years. Okay. So when you put all this together, Kanwankos ran Enyimba. Enyimba has also experienced the worst era since the year 2000 or so, up until now. It's the worst era in terms of club management in the history of the club. That's an ex-football player. And we could stretch it down to a whole lot of other people. These are the people you think should know better. These are the people you think have seen it better and then they should do better. But they are not. Again, all of those countries that you say probably they get pension from it, they have players union. They have contribution. Nobody gives you free money in anywhere. England is the most stingy country in the world. Nobody, and I would say it over and over again, nobody will give you free meal. If you have British friend, beg them money, it will never happen. Nobody in England give you anything free. If you British people where you go follow, they go call your house, you say, let's go out. When I go and finish, they go tell me you order food, you got that food, go say you pay your bill, make them pay their bill. Nobody will give you anything for free. It is the money they contribute into a purse that is invested, and then in turn, what you're getting now is what you've paid over the years. So let me throw this question back to Taribo West. And I don't want anybody to see this like, oh, he's ungrateful. No. If work what they pay you for, it's like me going to Brill and say, oh, I need money, I'm sick, give me money. I worked 13 years. No, I did not. I signed a contract and I did the contract. They made the obligation and it's done. Whether I think the money was too small then, for as long as I did not reject it, I agreed to do it. That's it, right? The Taribo West and his teammate, when they played that games for Nigeria and did all the things that they did for Nigeria, were they paid? Yes. Were they rewarded? Yes. After the reward, what portion of those money did they put into a collective contribution, pension scheme and the rest, that they are now supposed to draw down? Or is it that anytime they fall sick, they should? And then to make the matters worse, Iguavana said that them and soldiers are the same. You know how insulted I felt? I felt disrespected. Iguavana is a man that I respect, love, adore so much because he's a great guy. Guavon is a great guy. He's another very honest, straight guy that I find it hard to even criticize him. But you see that comment, you know why? It hits me very hard. I've been on the football side. 3 years ago in March, I lost my brother through insurgency, fighting to defend the security of this country, and he was killed, bombed. We buried him like Conbeef. Major Sam Miller. He was in Lagos here. They moved him to Zamfara. And that's where he died. So you're not going to stand in front of a microphone and tell me that because you were kicked in the face, your work you do is better than what the
soldiers.
Leverage
on the fact
are you serious right now?
That squad was, one of the best in history.
Did they win the World Cup? They won the Nations Cup. Them Shego Degmami, without going to Europe, won the Nations Cup too. And so what?
So the amount of stars that has come out from that set of Eagles. So maybe that's why they felt entitled to,
why are they entitled?
Say, okay, the country should do this. So are you saying the claim from Taribo shouldn't be saying what he said?
They shouldn't be saying it. It is rude. It is disrespectful. It makes them look stupid. I'm not the one calling them stupid, but every time they make that comment, it makes them look stupid. I have seen, in the last 15 years now, I have seen each of them, whether it's Sasia, whether it's Okocha, Keshi, whether it's Sondolise, whether it's Finidi, Eguavon, Amoneke, Uduka Agbade, anytime they get the job, it is even their own. I'm saying this not because I'm just cooking it up. It is they are among their rank that are working against them. I've seen class of 94 players gather together and say Nigeria, that they are praying that they've paid Imam and the rest, praying that Nigeria does not qualify for the Qatar World Cup. Do you know how bad that is? Like, this is not something they were even ashamed to say. They were happy to say it, to celebrate the failure of the team, the same team that they claim to play and sacrifice and love. No. Let me tell you one thing. When I saw Brilla sliding down, there was a part of me that is pained. We work hard to raise this thing. The speed of the decline is too high. Not because, the things that they did to me, it's not hurting me. But what sense does it make that the university you went to all of a sudden now is no longer in existence? It's not fair now. You understand? So that kind of feeling is always there. Right? These players have not put anything on ground. Again, let me just put this one as an addendum to the conversation. We have seen market women, Yaloja and the women in market do a job, set up cooperative, and from that cooperative they train their children to school. Some build houses, some expand their businesses just from a job, from cooperative. If you watch this thing, maybe you watch abroad now, you will not know what a job or cooperative or collection is, but it's contribution. Like, okay, you say GoFundMe, but it's not like a GoFundMe thing, but it's just a collective contribution where everybody make money. Have you ever heard in the history of Nigerian football, leave the class of 80, the class of 80 is a distinct class. They are the most honorable, most respectable group of footballers that ever played for this country. The Shego Degwami, Adoke Amesemaka, those people, the guys that started winning medals for us from 1976 in Ethiopia, 78 in Ghana, and 80 in Lagos. Those are the real MVP. The rest are charlatans, as far as I'm concerned. You might say, you don't like my tone of word, but let me clear something to you. We've seen a lot of generation. Shego Degwami, you see him, he's doing Wasimi, whether the thing succeed or not. He's on a radio station, he's been a writer, he's been a publisher. You could see. This class of 94 that everybody always say they do this. Name one that set up a business that employ 5 Nigerians. At least, I can tell you, in the last 8 years I left Brilla, I've employed in my employ, go and come, some that are gone abroad, some that are gone to set up something. I have now hit 87 people in 8 years. 87 people. I've trained people. If no one inside this room that was sitting now, I have people that now me give them first experience here, now me train them, then now me put them there. Let them show us the people that they've set up businesses and their business produce and train and turn over into the system, the ecosystem. They're born una to come the leech, una be parasites. They're born una to come permanently the leech on the nation. Is there not going to come a time when you people say, you know what, enough is enough? And look at MNK. I'm not sure MNK one day will come and be talking this. It's built a hospital, massive, right? And some other ones of this 2013 generation and the Odio Gallos and the rest of them, you could look at them and say, okay, yeah, I start with this. But I don't see anything that these people give. They only take and take and take and take and take, and then they lament and then they groan. This is not the first time. Anytime a footballer dies, there is this lamentation, there is this. That's the order. Once you are 40 years and above in this country, you are part of the problem. every time you open your mouth, you should be talking solution, you should be fixing. You cannot be 40 years and above in a 60 years plus country, and you think that you're not partly responsible for what is going on. You are partly responsible for what is going on. And every time you open your mouth, there should be solution. Complaining doesn't work, because some of the governors today were running to people's window to spy this class of 94 play when they qualified for the Nations Cup, won it, went to World Cup.
Yeah, true.
Those people have now gone from those strugglers, those never-do-wells, those upcoming, to become men of timber of caliber. Let's start with Ojuzo Kalu. Had Sloke Airline at one point, had the Sun newspaper, was the governor for 8 years, helped Eyimba to win the Champions League back-to-back. Whatever you want to call of him, you can see the evidence of what he's done. People he has employed, job he has created. Ibori. Where was Ibori in 1994? Let's be very honest. Where was Okowa in 1994? Where was Goodluck Jonathan in 1994? Where was Shetima in 1994? Where was Tambuwa in 1994? Where was Akpabio in 1994? Let's just put that 1990 to 1995 or 96, Atlanta 96. You took all these people. They were just probably regular people. Where was Peter Obi in that era? But some of them have gone on to become Senate president, vice president, governors, senators, ministers, and all. None of the footballers have been able to organize themselves well and be somewhere. And these guys have gone to Europe and say, oh, okay, this is the policies that work abroad. In England, in Italy, in France, in Spain, in Germany, all over the place, in Sweden, everywhere. You've not been able to come and say, okay, you know what? Let us articulate this one. Let us be the lobby group. We didn't benefit from it, but let us make sure that the people coming after us will benefit from it. Let us be the lobby group that will lobby to put laws in place that will make sure these things are done. This is not the first time, an ex-Super Eagles is saying something after the death of somebody. Civication was given a state burial, but still, when they went to Ila, they gave him a state burial. But still, people still like, oh, the way they treated him is not fine. Amadu Shaibu, after everybody, Rashidi Yakini, after everybody died, it's become a problem. I don't think that we should be sounding this. And then after that, the media will analyze it again. When would they come together and say, with this access that we have, people who can go to the president and break protocol without needing an appointment, people who can go to governors of their state. Let's even start with the states. The president is too powerful. Let's start with the state. Let every state have a state sports policy, a reward system, a pension system. If you represent the state in National Sports Festival, this is what you get. You know the funny thing? When they say this, they make it look like footballers are the only ones that have served Nigeria. Nobody ever. Have you ever heard one athlete die? And we have this conversation. Then they die. Have you heard one ex-boxer, former Nigeria boxer die, and we have this conversation? Why does it have to be only footballers? So now only footballers they serve Nigeria. And the way they make it sound, so you think police need to serve Nigeria? You think the army need to serve Nigeria? The navy need to serve Nigeria? Even pilots, they need to serve Nigeria. The people in the market, they need to serve Nigeria. When they died, is this how people come out? And then it's annoying because just a few weeks ago, the ladies who's been playing for Nigeria since 1990, no reward, were given $100,000. It was Hola Balu. Even some ex-footballers were complaining that the money is too much. The one time that they reward these girls since 1990, if my records serve me right, the first time we went to any major tournament was 1991. Since that time till now, Choma Ajunwa had gone from a footballer to an athlete, won us our first Olympic gold medal. Have you seen anybody speaking for them? The one time they gave them $100,000, the whole country wanted to burn. Like, we need to start another civil war again that is worse than the Biafra war. So at some point you ask yourself, sports people and Nigeria, which lane on a day? More than stay one play, more no the turn that we go fire on or the kind of judgment we'll give now. Because I don't understand. On one tongue you say that it is not good to give sports women, Falcons player and the Tigress $100,000. Another lane, you now say, oh, what you have done for Nigeria is more than what the soldiers have done. In the terrible rant, let me be very honest, did he even articulate anything? He didn't articulate anything. You know what made your son play for Nigeria? No big deal.
That's harsh. That's a hard thing to say. That's
if he wants to.
Do you think maybe people felt emotional towards it because it's coming from Taribo West?
I don't know why. See, Nigerians are always emotional.
Maybe if it's another person who say that, we might not spark this reaction.
Listen, we're always emotional.
And it has led to
Opabumi
several
came out
comments.
with one complaint one time that they abandoned him. And I remember telling somebody that this guy used this thing, take blackmail a lot of people, collect money, but he no go tell people that side of the story now. He's talking about say they abandoned him. Was he playing for Nigeria when that happened? Yes, have people played for Nigeria and they got injured and then they were abandoned? Yes, there are many. It happens everywhere in the world. But I have never seen anybody ever come out to say, after playing 10 years or 5 years or 15 years for this football club, they abandoned me in my time of need. Nobody ever does that. Have you ever heard that somebody goes and any player go and cry, say the club where they play for, where they give all their youth age, now they are suffering, the club is not coming to their aid? Have you heard that? Why is it always the national team of Nigeria? Why is it always the national team of Nigeria? In Europe, when players die, it's their club that do the black banner, that do all the representation, appreciation. Does it not tell you something? That we're not getting it right. And well, even Bible say when you pray amiss, you're not going to get answer. We're praying amiss, asking for things that it's not our right, we're not entitled to. We just want to get sensational. You can do headlines. It's good now that it's talking point. We give everybody in the media numbers. But does that change anything? Does that move the needle? No. The creative industry knew what they want. They articulated it from Goodluck Jonathan time to Yaradua from Yaradua to Goodluck Jonathan. No, so from Obasanjo to Yaradua to Goodluck Jonathan, they got what they want. The tech people start agitating for what they want. They got what they want. Do you know that the split of the Ministry of Youth and Sports, the split didn't come from sports people articulating. It came from the president realizing that, now only 2% of our budget they go to sports. Let's split it so that they function well. That's where it came from. It didn't come from sports people articulating. They don't always articulate for something that is going to be available to the young ones. They always agitate for them. Don't you see the greed and selfishness that is there? This thing is not like I want something good for Nigerian football. This is since when I get, make I also get. It's not like that. There's an African proverb that say, elders plant tree that whose leaves and shade they will not enjoy. These guys are not elders in Nigerian football. They should be planting trees whose leaves and shades they will not enjoy. Not the one that they will benefit from. Not the ones that their children will benefit from. And to say that Peter Rufai's family was begging in WhatsApp group, it's disgraceful. In 2023, I spent 16.4 million to do my third child's surgery. In a period where I've not had a job for God knows how long, right? Where I was trying to build something that is not even working. I didn't go to WhatsApp group to beg anybody. I didn't go to Facebook to beg anybody. I don't come from a rich family. I don't have a history of having played football and made a lot of money. But you know what? I have goodwill. There's so many things you can insult me about. My goodwill is solid. I'm one of the most, in terms of sports media in Nigeria, I'm one of the most hated person. Since I started in 2004, I don't think there's anybody who's fought the kind of battles that I've fought. Fought administrators, fought officials. I've been arrested 3 times by DSS. I've been pushed, But at the end of the day, I have people who come through. That's what goodwill is. Goodwill is the biggest currency you can have. That's why Coca-Cola, all the big brands also do adverts. Even though they are the most popular, they want to keep themselves in the hearts and minds of the people that love them and their children and their generation yet unborn. The thing is, these players have cashed in on all their goodwill. So people now see them as jokers. They can repay it. They should gather themselves. Where is the PFA? Where is the Players Union in Nigeria? What are they doing? When have you ever heard that the Players Union in Nigeria fought successfully for the good of a Nigerian player? Now we're hearing Drogba is the one that went to fight for Wakali. Drogba is the one that's speaking for Siemens. The one that's speaking for, Ademola Lookman. What's Okocha doing now? This is the time where they are supposed to speak. What's Taribo West doing? Is it not Italy? He doesn't know anybody in Italy. Why is he not going there to speak? That in this kind of case, they'll be quiet. You will see them to just go incommunicado, like stealth flight. But when it comes to stomach infrastructure,
now this conversation have brought about statements from the NFF. They put out something that they've reached
if
out
you were
to
the NFF, would you do that?
They supported the family, and we've seen conflicting reports as well. Even I saw a tweet from was it Rufai that saying the Peter Rufai's family hasn't seen anything. They didn't get any money from the NFF and stuff like that. Now that's another conversation for another day. Now in the whole of this situation, this Peter Rufai situation, what can present footballers learn from this whole drama? Now they are in the game, they are making their money. What can they pick from this? Because we've seen so many tweets. When you are playing, make sure that you prepare from when you hang up your boot. So what can they pick from this present
Most
footballers
of
and all
the
that?
present day footballers have given us warning ahead. I have my mother said, "I don't go to a party you are not invited." I do not qualify to advise any Nigerian player because from Osimhen to Boniface to a lot of them, Wilfred Ndidi, Kelechi Iheanacho, the one that played in Cyprus that said Izimo Yibo signed, what's his name? What's the goalkeeper to ever keep on Nigeria? Francis Uzoho, all of them, they've told us one time or the other, if you not get money, reach me, no advise me. They've told us countless times. You think I'm really going to be foolish here to try to advise them? No, I don't have advice for them. If they see and they don't learn, it will happen to them again. They are the ones who also played in that class of 94 who are living comfortably well. I don't think Olisa is going to come and beg anybody or come and cry and weep that, I know well, take care of me. No, he's managed his affairs very well. Okocha has used his brand power to manage his affairs very well. Let's give him credit where that is due. People like Garba Lawal also have managed their affairs very well, and a few others, not too many. Victor Kweba has managed to build himself into a brand space where it works, even though a lot of his colleagues don't like him, but he's put himself there. He can feed himself till he dies unless something crazy happens. So there are those who understand that, and then they play the ball again. It's on Super Sports, it's on Bet Niger Space, it's everywhere. It can. The rest should learn to manage themselves well. That goodwill that comes, they should invest the money that they're using right now, do whatever. But for me personally, I don't have advice for them. If you're my friend, I can tell you, okay, this is what I think. Take it or leave it. And I have a few footballers who are my friends. It's not like we're enemies. Lots of them are my friend. All these people, even the ones I criticize, you will still see them on my podcast. We will still interview them. We will still talk. But the truth is, I'm not going to come here and advise. It was Ario that said something that power and money in the hands of an illiterate is tantamount to an atomic bomb in the hand of a warmonger. You can't advise them.
All right, that's a way to end this section of this Taribo West drama and debacle.